great day in the morning. That's what they say down south, and it's a good day if you're alive. Depending on where you at and who you are, it could be debatable. Anyway, my name is Ron Tucker, and I'm the host of Ron's Talking. You can check me out on YouTube anytime you feel like it, at Ron's Talking. Appreciate you if you do. If you don't, I got something for you. But anyway, there's a lot of things going on around the country, around the world, but I'm going to specifically stay here on the home front in the good USA. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's see, what's our first story for the day? There's an aspiring actor. Before I go any further, I'm going to try to cut down on my, getting on Trump for a minute, because I believe I've been giving him too much grief lately. I'm trying to ease up off of him somewhat, so I'm going to let up on him a little bit. But I'm going to get back to him later. Anyway, all right, so like I was saying, there is an aspiring actor in New York, and he was cleared of drug charges after New York's finest NYPD cops' own body cam appears to show him plant drugs on the man. He was a black man. Go figure. It was a decorated New Rochelle police lieutenant who was busted by his own device. The victim is a celebrity fitness trainer who was arrested on May 29th after cops approached his Cadillac Escalade because it was highlighted in an outdated stolen car report. Now, the victim, his name was Alvin Harper, was set up by Lieutenant Sean Kane, who tried to arrest Mr. Harper a while back in May, and Mr. Harper fled as soon as he saw Lieutenant Kane, because they had a prior run-in with each other last year over a drug possession charge that was dropped. But Mr. Harper believes the cops didn't forget about the clash they had. So Lieutenant Kane took some drugs and stashed it under the wheel well of a parked minivan, and he waited for Mr. Harper to return to his vehicle after the chase ensued. Well, eventually, Mr. Harper was arrested when he went to the police headquarters on July the 10th. I assume he got his car impounded or something to that effect. They didn't really specify in the story. But anyway, the cops then concocted a crack and cocaine charge against Mr. Harper and claimed Mr. Harper threw a plastic bag under a parked car, and that Lieutenant Kane conveniently found it. Hey, look what I found. Lieutenant Kane said in a separate report that he watched Harper toss the bag. Now, all of Lieutenant Kane's scheming would have worked perfectly except for one small little detail. His body cam recorded him driving around with a small baggie in his right hand prior to him placing the drugs under the minivan. Okay. On top of that, the video showed that Lieutenant Kane wasn't even in the vicinity to witness Harper tossing anything, as he stated earlier. Well, Lieutenant Kane was reportedly suspended about 2 weeks later. Now the case is in the DA's office. Now, I bet Lieutenant Kane is chilling at home on paid leave. Suspension. But ain't it kind of funny how police officers who are derelict in their duties and crooked as a snake, they get to go home and still receive a paycheck for not doing their jobs. Now, ironically, if that black man, Mr. Harper, was found to have possession of those drugs, and they were illegal, he'd go to jail. But the cop who not only possessed illegal drugs and possessed them for a criminal and crooked reason, and tried to plan on someone violating his duty as a law enforcement agent, he doesn't get arrested. So who's the crook here? Can you smell a lawsuit coming? I sure can. Taxpayer money getting ready to catch some wings. But that's our criminal justice system at work. Okay? Let's shift gears a little bit to a well-known hip-hop music mogul from back in the day, Mr. Jermaine Dupri. Now, Mr. Dupri, he ran afoul of the Twitter troops and was given a civic lesson from them because he sort of criticized VP Harris by giving the president he doesn't believe she would carry out the Biden administration initiatives if she becomes president, because, as he puts it, she's already in the House. How come she ain't doing something? Well, Twitterverse took over at that point, so I won't delve into it too deep. Suffice to say, when they got done schooling him, and they just had to bring up Janet's name, they sent him to the dean, Roland Martin. And so Roland, you know how he do. You know how he rolls. He put the whole thing to bed with Jermaine. I haven't seen the interview with Roland, but I'm dying to check it out. So, there's only two things that I really want to know from JD. What do you think a vice president's role is when they have a different seal at the podium when they talk? That's number one. Number two, how many presidential decisions did you question that Mike Pence did or didn't do? I ain't heard you peep once when he was VP, but now that a black woman is trying to ascend to the top, you got questions about her before she's even elected. And last but not least, if your conversation was so private with VP Harris, why are you out here blabbing it to everybody? Hey, look, seems to me you can't be trusted with secrets know-how at a high level, and you wondering about her and what she can do or will do? Why don't you wait till she gets elected? And then we'll all find out. Man, I think I need to get hold of Janet. I bet she knows something about you that she can share with us, but I ain't gonna try to get too deep into your personal business, bro. But, you know, you might need to take a little bit of a understanding and schooling on civics and politics and how it really works at those three levels of government, those branches, you know what I mean? Might want to do that, you know, do a little research. Now, here we go. First January 6th, they got into the building back then when those renegades stormed the Capitol. Seemed like he got sentenced today. And he earned about 53 months on behalf of General Trump. That's a little over 5 years, bro. For him? It's plenty of them in there right now. And more to come, I guess, because they ain't through putting them in there, locking them up. And this dude, he said, I believe in the Constitution, so I'll die for it. And Trump is my president. Okay. Well, there's two things of note I got for your partner. You didn't die, and Trump is a former president, and you better hope and pray he gets reelected, because if he don't, you ain't gonna get that pardon you're gonna need. But don't worry, if he don't make it, if he doesn't get elected, he'll most likely be bunking up with you soon. So, you know, all's not lost. But one thing I can tell you right now, he ain't going to visit you no time soon. And as he would say, believe me. Believe me. Okay. Now, this one here. This one really got me. Whew-wee. Well, they don't like black men, or black people, I guess, robbing no Dollar General stores in the Peach State. Let me tell you why. And his brother, who decided to strong arm the Dollar General store there in there's a county called Spalding County in Georgia. I mean, look, he did his robbery thing, and he was armed and the felony and all this kind of stuff. They gave his brother life without a possibility of parole, and just to make sure he got the message, the full message from this county in Georgia, they gave him some spare change of about 20 additional years, just for good measure. Damn. Now they lit him up like he robbed the U.S. Treasury and Fort Knox on the same day. And the jury must have been in such a hurry to go to lunch or something. When they sentenced him, they tightened him up in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, y'all. Come on, man. Come on. He barely walked in the courtroom before it was all over. Even the judge gasped. Dang! I didn't know they gave it out like that. Next, there were 3 others who was with my boy when he got popped. And he said, well, one who was never captured, he probably dead, but I ain't trying to start no conspiracy theories. It ain't looking good for those 2 that did get caught along with old boy. Does anybody know where Spalding County is in Georgia? Yeah. I've seen serial killers who didn't get that kind of time for their crimes. Come on, y'all. I mean, brother got so much time, the courtroom clock exploded. So somebody better call Saul or Ben Crump. And this sentencing was so egregious, even Trump was shocked. Speaking of Trump, I told you I wasn't going to talk about him too tough, but I'm trying to keep him out the news cycle, but damn, he just won't behave. Now, y'all know it seems like right now he's trying to back out of the debate and having second thoughts about being on ABC, all this stuff. You knew it was coming. That's what he always do. Well, that's what he did when him and Biden was supposed to go head to head in the first debate. Yeah. Remember how he postured and peacocked and preened and talked about how he don't think he's gonna do it, he may do it, he might not do it, I gotta think about it, all that kind of stuff. The same thing he's doing now. He just posturing, trying to get some publicity, trying to get more shine, more airtime. And I would assume the man's not that stupid where he won't show up. Because if he don't show up, he's already in trouble right now, if you believe the polls. I believe he's through, but he's already in turmoil right now, his whole campaign. You think he ain't gonna show up for that? He ain't got no choice. He done ran his mouth so much, and he been running like he got diarrhea of the mouth, so he gonna show up. But he's gonna milk this for all it's worth until it's that time. Well, I can see, it's predictable, it's Trump. Well, let me see. He lying again, as usual, about his border numbers. He told an audience, as he points to a chart that he's been showing everybody, it shows the Border Patrol encounters and Trump claims there were illegal immigrants was at its lowest level in history when he was in his last week in office. The reality is, because you got to fact check him all the time. No surprise, he's telling another lie. That's a good one. In April 2020, the Border Patrol, the encounters decreased because of COVID. Around 16,000 encounters were noted, and they had all the data about that. It was already documented. Then, after April 2020, while Trump was still in office, the numbers rose steadily each and every month until they hit 75,316 in January 21 when he left office. So, as usual, he lies about everything, and he continues to tell these big whoppers, we can trust Trump to lie. Oh, by the way, he just got indicted again, so by a new grand jury. What else is new? He's a walking indictment anyway. Now, I've been trying to keep Trump down tonight so far, but I guess I ain't doing a good job because, I just can't help it. He just, here's one for you. Now, Trump and his stooges, he got aides who don't know how to behave, just like the captain. Remember how some of your mothers used to tell you back in the day, if you had a mother like that, I know I did, that, when you were a little kid and she had you by the hand, took you in the store and told you straight up, you better not touch, look, or smell at nothing in here. And all you do is look down and just look around, and you better not even think about saying anything back. My mom let me know, if you have that thought bubble over your head like them cartoons, and you better put a pin in it quick. Now, I have to clean up the words, because actually the things she said, they're not suitable for grown folks to hear it anyway, so you feel me? Anyway. Well, Trump and his SS troops, two of his staffers, they had the nerve, the audacity to get physical with an official at Arlington National Cemetery, of all places. And this man was just doing his job. They had a section called Section 60, where, it's pretty much a solemn area where, recently buried soldiers are laid to rest. So Trump's two badass brats, they're going to go in there and try to take photos and film to help him look like he really wanted to be there, trying to help him look presidential for the campaign. And the cemetery official told them now they couldn't come in and do all that. They got salty and allegedly verbally abused him and pushed him physically to the side. Now, it's bad enough Trump has called war veterans who died in combat losers and suckers, allegedly. His goons can't control themselves, so they don't know how to act anywhere, just like him. So they trying to wake up the dead at the cemetery just to please old Dracula himself. And of course, Trump's campaign spokesman, this guy looked like anyway, his name is Stephen Chung. I ain't trying to be racial about this, but he do look like Odd Job from that movie, with the James Bond movie. I forget what it was, but anyway, this dude, no matter what happens in Trump world, he'll never ever say Trump or his people did anything wrong. So of course, he lied about the encounter. He tried to blame it on the official by saying this guy clearly is suffering from a mental health episode. Now, it don't surprise anybody. Trump and his camp, that's how they're going to come. That's how they always going to play things. He hires and trains the absolute best of the worst wharf rats that you can find out there to defend him all the time. So, that's how my man Trump rolls, and he ain't gonna never change. Well, there are just certain things that we can and cannot believe that Trump and his people are going to do or not do. It's always the same. It never fails. They never cease to amaze, and most of the time they never cease to disappoint us. They always gives us something that we know we can believe because it's Donald Trump and his crew. So, that's pretty much what I got to give y'all so far today. I think that's probably enough right now, but man, I tell you what, there's more things to come. And since Jack Smith has out that indictment on Trump again, there's gonna be more action coming. Trump can't catch a break, can he? He looked like he's losing this election. They hit him with some more charges. And if he ain't in disarray right now, I don't know what's going to happen with that man, because there's a lot of pressure he's under. And, you know, he's just an individual. He's just a human, well, allegedly. Anybody tried in that garlic or steak in the heart or wolfbane or any of those other remedies, ain't nobody tried that cross on the forehead deal. You know, that Bible didn't burn Trump's hand when he held upside down. Maybe that cross, I don't know. Silver bullet, anybody? I'm just throwing things out there, hoping something might stick on the wall. But anyway, well, thanks for listening to me tonight. I hope everybody's having a good day right now, or a good evening. Soon to be morning on the East Coast, but check me out when you get a chance. Don't forget to subscribe. Share me with some other people. I'm going to keep on trying to bring it just like this. Want everybody to have a pleasant tomorrow, and I look forward to talking to you folks again. Take care, and God bless.